Everyone is looking at Rebirth and this new Final Fantasy trilogy the wrong way. And I want to go over how to fix this and how you should look at it going forward. And I'll admit, I'm guilty of this too. And I will accept the fact that I was wrong and some of my ideas were wrong about the game. But I've learned one thing from all of this, was looking at the story the wrong way. And it really dawned on me when I was watching some other videos of Ending Explained. I want to give a special shout out to the Night Sky Prince, whose content I've been following for a long time. And I was actually watching his This Changes Everything Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Ending Explained video when it really hit me of why I was looking at the story the wrong way. For those of you who want to, I would definitely check it out if you are looking on how the ending actually happened. He puts it into words a lot better than I ever could, and special kudos for him for being able to do that. Now, generally I tend to avoid videos like this as it creates biases of what happened, and now I'm allowing other people's influences and ideas to dictate what I'm thinking of what I think happened in the events. And I would much rather prefer coming to my own conclusion than have other people's ideas influence that. And that's when all of this hit me. Aren't I doing this with my own biases? Now, it's great having other people's opinions and other people's analysis. And then when I went and looked back at it, I'm also influenced and surrounded by all of these, even my own. These are all compilations of other sources of Final Fantasy VII content. There's the OG game, there's Crisis Core, there's Ever Crisis, there's Advent Child, there's books, there's mangas, there's phone games, there's PS2 games, there's remakes, there's all of these other sources of content that just allow you to shape this own image in your own head of what happened. And what ultimately happens is, well, you come to the conclusion, well, this can't happen because this is how it portrayed in the original. And you're so stuck in this mindset of thinking that was shaped by all this other previous content that you had. And guess what? It's okay to be wrong. And you know what? It's totally okay to enjoy all of these other shapes of content and these other avenues of content, but using it to try to justify things that happens because that's how it happened in the past is the wrong way to be looking at this trilogy. You need to reshape how things are viewed. And I say this because unless it's specifically stated in Remake or Rebirth, just expect it to change. It's okay to use information from these other pieces of media to help you understand the stories, help get an understanding of characters' backgrounds. There's a character in Rebirth that's introduced. They are also introduced in Crisis Core. You can go play Crisis Core and understand the core values of this person, but don't expect it to be portrayed perfectly and don't expect, well, this is what happened in Crisis Core, so this is how it happens in the future. And I say this because things have deviated so much already. No one can really be sure of what's going to be happening next. There's foreshadowing in places that already shows that the ending of the game is probably going to play out a lot differently than it did in the original. And that's okay. Don't expect things to be happening because, oh, this is what happened in the originals. We have multiple worlds now. We have multiple timelines. We have events from previous games that, if you were to go through the game chronologically, have not happened yet, but are brought forth in Rebirth already. So why would you expect the story to also have that same expectation? And to say things like, well, this doesn't line up exactly how it would happen in Advent Children because that's canon, is a very dangerous mindset to have, in my opinion. And I want to say it like this. Advent Children is canon, but it's canon to the OG game. That doesn't necessarily mean that it will line up exactly with how this trilogy is. This trilogy is a reimagining. Is it going to be canon to everything that the original game had and everything that Advent Children and these books and other games had? Probably not. And that's totally okay. It's allowed to deviate. It's its own trilogy for a reason. It is its own work. You need to start to learn to enjoy it for what it is. And you know what? It's difficult because we can't fully explain everything that has happened so far. And you know what? There are some uncertainties and there are some unanswered questions. And that's perfectly okay. We still have another game to answer all of these questions. We don't need to try to justify everything that has happened and why things are going to happen in the future. Some things are just meant to be ambiguous. Some things are meant to make you feel uncertain of what's going to be happening next. Because if they didn't, there would almost be no reason for there to be a remake in the first place, and allow this trilogy to be its own piece of work rather than trying to have your past biases dictate what was happening. I did it too, and there's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying other pieces of content. Just don't have it warp your expectations of what this story has to be. I think that's a huge thing. I've had a lot of discussions with a lot of people online of, hey, this so-and-so can't happen, or this happened because this is how it played out. And I just think it's a very dangerous line of thought, and I think it's just a reminder of how things should be viewed going forward. So just wanted to get that out there, and as always, I hope you have a great day.